Have you ever noticed that once you decide you really want something and are finally ready to have it, that thing becomes more elusive than ever? Maybe you decide you're ready for a partner, growth in your business, more income, or a new health milestone. And then life seems to just slap you on the wrist in one way or another. Well, this essay is what I think is going on for you. And as always, more importantly, how to fix it. While we collectively use the internet to double down on our weakness and fears like dating sucks, men are bad, women are self-centered, the economy is oppressive, relationships are so hard, community is dead. However, when we look around our real life, we can see lots of people actualizing success in ways that we might be only grasping at. And this weekend, I heard a teacher, Kasia Urbaniak, say she thinks the core problem on the planet right now is this: we don't realize how good we have it. We're sitting at a banquet table, and yet we are all starving. And when I look at the resources we have collectively, the tools, the knowledge, the ability to heal, I agree. Our problem is distribution, not availability. The right people aren't holding the right power. And so much of my work as a somatic coach is about clearing the emotions, the control, the victimization, and the old roles that keep people who want to be agents of change in their communities, or just in their own lives, from accessing what's already available to them. And I've caught myself doing it too, picking crumbs off the floor of a life I've outgrown, seemingly crawling under the banquet table of my own life like it didn't belong to me, trying to make things that never really worked feel super meaningful, missing what was right in front of me, not because it wasn't there, but because I wasn't in the energy to receive it, or honestly to even see it as a match for me. But then once I finally set up, started taking this ticking time machine seriously and ignoring the social noise that wants everyone to be stuck and angry, guess what? My table often felt empty. It felt like the things I wanted were available to other people and just not to me, even when I was working harder to attain them. And let's open this problem up with a question I've been sitting with all week in a sticky area of my own personal life. Am I wanting something in a way that actually makes it harder to get? And have you ever felt like the more you love someone, the more they pulled away? Or the harder you tried for something, a relationship, a goal, a version of your life, the more it slipped through your hands? And what is that about? It's about energy. It's about how your wanting feels to other people. Everything we want or need, money, community, power, support, a place to add value, comes through other people. And sometimes we get it just right. We're clear, we're calm. Our desire isn't laced with fear or control. We're not trying to force outcomes or micromanage what's meant to unfold. And in that space, people feel good around us. They feel free. They're drawn in by the energy, not trapped by the demand. There's agency in the invitation. There's breathing room. There's space for mutual choice. But when desire is fused with anxiety, scarcity, or a quiet sense of panic, it pushes people away. Even when what we want is beautiful and in alignment with our goals, even when we're asking so nicely. And here's what it can sound like under the surface. If I don't get this, something will break. If you don't give me this, I'll make it mean something about me. If I don't suffer through this, I won't have earned it. If you don't match the exact picture I had in my mind of my plan, I won't even see you. That kind of energy repels connection. It feels heavy. People can't say yes to you without feeling like they're losing something. And we all point fingers at each other, accusing everyone we know of being a narcissist, but rarely do we survey ourselves for that common energy. Deciding what you want and looking for people to fill the roles you've already created is actually highly narcissistic. And yet every green flag list in America supports these habits as healthy. We are being conditioned to pick and choose each other like a bin of old fruit, digging through life looking for the one or two good enough apples, and yet no one wants to be treated like that themselves. Sorting energy, as I call it, will lead to an internal no for anyone that values themselves. Just think about it. You are looking for people that will invest in you, support you, and roles that let you shine, but you are leveraging giving back value based on if you decide something is good enough for you. And that is shitty energy. It will only attract the actually rotten apples, which there aren't that many of, by the way. Most people are fundamentally good and can give you their worst or their best, depending on what you co-create with them. Nothing valuable is going to commit to you if you aren't showing up full of value and freedom. You have to start echoing the energy you want to receive. I bet you can sometimes nail this energetic. The one where you are focusing on mostly what you can offer other people and expecting that things will only continue forward when you are fully met in an equal and opposite way. And I can assume if you can follow this writing at all, you do occasionally hit that sweet spot where you recognize that other people value very different things than you do. And stepping into the ecosystem of reciprocity is done through putting most of your attention on adding value, as opposed to taking it or controlling everything like other people or an inventory you manage. Side eye. Do you want to know why you can't hold a clean energy for very long though? Because your energy just isn't anchored into your daily living and speaking. It's not flowing through the rhythm of how you talk to your kids, how you treat the people you date, how you talk to your partner, your coworkers, your friends. It's not grounded in habits, in your tone of voice, or in your reality at all. Because even though emotional embodiment and energetics are the core of everything I teach, they mean nothing if they don't show up in how you live, the choices you make, and what you say. Nothing. And the person that comes to me and says they are, quote, working on something, but aren't taking any daily consistent actions that would align to having it, has what I call a dislocation. Everyone around you can feel the dislocation between what you claim to desire and the real life evidence that you actually have almost no intention of actualizing it. And again, standing at the fruit bin of life, waiting for another person that you deem as good enough to plop into the role you have invented through therapy or coaching before getting started isn't going to be appealing. And if you do tons of inner work without ever addressing your physical life and actions, you'll see your desires clearly, but you won't be able to hold them. Just as in reverse, when someone makes tons of external changes, great health, great finances, says all the right things, but inside they're harboring old, sick emotions and still enmeshed with everyone around them, they aren't very attractive. Have you ever noticed that? Your inner and outer worlds need to match. Every place they do not is a door to yourself. And my core offer as a coach is teaching people to get curious instead of judgmental about that. I teach lots of skills classes along with my more esoteric work, and this month the membership class is called Actually Better Sex, because the way you move energy through your body in the bedroom has to actually align with your awareness of something like the 3 internal ways a woman can achieve orgasm if you want to have a new physical experience with your partner. We need emotional surrender to meet body-based skills if we want better intimacy experiences. That pattern works in every area of our life. And here's the thing. Most people talk about the life they want, but their body, their habits, their environments, and the way they act inside of their relationships do not reflect it. They spend their life largely planning out or striving for a future that never comes to fruition. It's the client telling me they want growth in their business and in their love life while they rack up low-level choices and stay connected to a whole bunch of things that are making them way worse. And no one can recognize them as a match. There's too much clutter. They only attract what I call fixing each other scenarios. What they want would never look at their life and their connections and think, that's just right for me. And if you think people can't feel energy and you're only accountable for what you tell or show people about yourself, I promise you're fooling yourself. The green flag list in your pocket means nothing when it's not how you move on a random Wednesday. It's not in the boundaries you keep. It's not in the way you treat yourself or the people around you right now. And before we end, let me give you 2 examples of what I mean. Imagine a woman clinging to a relationship, doing the work for both people. She's knee-deep in this man's healing, trying to partner and parent him at the same time. Impossible, by the way. The attraction is dying under the weight of her labor. She's out here telling everyone about these relationships she wants to actualize, using all this spiritual language while doing everything possible in her daily life to actually prevent any of it from happening. And let me give you another example. A man leaves a retreat. He's like lit up with clarity and purpose. But by Thursday, he's numbing out, texting a woman he doesn't even like just to feel something. He's reactive. He can't hold energy for more than a few days from that retreat. There's no structure or commitment to his inner life outside of the moments he's with a coach or inside one of these spiritual experiences. He's never built out daily practices of his own. He hasn't even begun to mentor his inner little boy. He's just outsourcing temporary pleasure and relief through endless growth experiences. And these aren't failures of character. They're just nervous system patterns and bad habits supported by an entire culture of limiting beliefs. And they don't shift through wishful thinking or positive affirmations or breath work or vision boards or more podcasts or more quote unquote work. That's all bypassing. They change when your micro habits change. They change when you commit to living differently, to embodying a different energetic baseline, to taking an insane amount of self-responsibility. And that's what we do in these essays, in my workshops, in my memberships, in my coaching, regardless of if a client is working on their career or their relationships, or in one of my more esoteric and intuitive mentorships. We match up inner and outer worlds. We work on emotional and energetic integrity in a way that's visible in your actual life, because your life is the mirror of your inner world, not the other way around. And if your relationships, your money, and your self-respect are sitting in chaos while you cling to a fantasy of like what you deserve, something's off. Like you have a problem, you need help.